You might remember the last DC Fandom event where we got many updates on a number of DC projects. Among all these projects, there was one that piqued my interest the most, which was Batman the Caped Crusader. For those of you that aren't aware of what Batman the Caped Crusader is, it's an animated Batman series created and executive produced by Bruce Timm, the same man responsible for giving us the legendary Batman the Animated Series. And based on what Bruce Timm has told us, if what he's saying is true, then we can expect a lot from this series. So with this, I'll be explaining to you all what we can expect from Batman the Caped Crusader and why I think this version of Batman will be special and something to be remembered. With this, Bruce Timm has given us a brief description that may give us an idea of what the series is about. DC describes it as a reimagination of the Batman mythology, and Bruce Timm says it's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series, if you get what I mean.
My elevator pitch versions of this show is that it's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series.
And the ties that once limited Batman the Animated Series from being more mature and more realistic are pretty much going to be non-existent in this show. They also highlight the fact that this version of Batman will start out with low tech and progress as the series continues on. So basically he'll start out by looking like this, and once the show moves on, he'll eventually become the Batman we all know and love. In addition, if you're a fan of Matt Reeves' The Batman, then you might want to check out this project because he's also involved with it. And based on the promotional images, we can tell that the Batsuit they're going with is loosely based on Batman's debut suit in Detective Comics 27, all the way back in 1939. And basically what they've explained to us is that this show's purpose is to show how Bruce Timm's concepts from Batman the Animated Series can be equally iconic, with a modern twist to Batman's representation. And it brings a big aspect of realism along with it. So when Bruce Timm talks about putting modern representation inside of this show, we can expect a lot of things from our day to be put in this series.
The opportunity to say, okay, well, the versions of Joker and Catwoman and Penguin, there's lots of different ways we can take those characters that we hope will be just as iconic and just as powerful.
Plus, Bruce Timm has alluded to the fact that in Batman the Caped Crusader, we're going to go into the psyche of Batman and really learn to understand his character in this iteration. Plus, they've pretty much confirmed that it's basically going to look like Batman's Strange Days. If you don't know what Batman the Strange Days is, it's basically a short that was made for Batman's 75th anniversary. And as long as Batman is in the hands of Bruce Timm, I trust his creative vision most of the time. I trust it most of the time. And when I mean most of the time, I'm mainly talking about Batman the Animated Series. But everything he did after that with Batman, Harley Quinn, and Batgirl really pisses me off! Alright, let me calm down. Whew. Batman is an amazing character, and he's so special due to his psyche. We wonder who's the man behind the mask, and once we figure out his identity, it defines him. Way more than it defines any other superhero, like for example, Spider-Man or Superman. Batman also has an incredible rogues gallery, and since this is going to be Batman the Animated Series 2.0, you can definitely expect Batman to face some real challenges here. Batman is also one of the most compelling characters and is consistently depicted to face challenges that at a face value look impossible to defeat. And not only that, this show is going to have a really cool 40s aesthetic, and with Batman being brought back to his roots, has the potential to serve us the best Batman cartoon of modern time. I also believe that Bruce Timm and J.J. Abrams are going to be trying their very hardest to live up to the expectations set on this series. They have to also follow the path of Batman the Animated Series, which is a very hard show to surpass, as they've attempted it with the new Batman Adventures, but it didn't really go their way. So the pressure is on them to deliver something that is so remarkable and can stay with our hearts forever. But there is one problem with this series that I don't really like. Now, if you're aware of what I said earlier when I said that they're going to be pumping up the maturity in this show, well, Bruce Timm has a consistent kink for making two characters who are not in the same age range, we'll say, do sexual things. Not only has he done this with Batman and Batgirl, but he's also done it with Harley Quinn and Nightwing, which is very weird. Now, I really hope that when it comes to where this show will be placed, it goes on Cartoon Network, so that Cartoon Network can limit the maturity levels that Bruce Timm is going to put on this series. But to be honest, it looks like it's going to go to either Amazon Prime or somewhere else, and they're probably not going to filter anything. So we can expect some very, very weird stuff in this series. And if you're aware of Batman the Animated Series at all and the impact that it's left on so many people, then you'd understand that once that show was created, people's opinions of Batman went up. After Adam West's 60s Batman show, people's perceptions on Batman became, well, very disgruntled, as they felt like he was a jokey character and not really someone to be taken serious. And not only did Batman the Animated Series redefine his character, but they redefined his perception and his presence as a whole. And Bruce Timm redefined him to be loved and feared at the same time. Batman the Caped Crusader will probably carry over Batman the Animated Series' core values. And who knows, maybe this series will just be better than the animated series by miles. Or it could fail miserably and then we get another Batman Harley Quinn, which would be a disappointment. But with that being said, what do you guys think? I'd like you guys to drop a comment, like and subscribe, and tell me what video I should make next regarding DC and comics as a whole. And with that being said, on and out.